between comparative politics and comparative government. Comparative government distinguishes between distinguish distinguish between comparative politics and comparative government. Comparative government and related to the different related to different comparative politics and comparative politics and comparative government related to the different aspect different concept related but are related but different concept are related but different concept. Comparative government and comparative politics are different but comparative government and comparative politics are similar but different concept or related. Comparative government is and narrow narrow study traditional and narrow study. It mainly focus on formal institutions of government such as constitution, legislature, executive, and judiciary. It studies mostly democratic countries. It studies of mostly democratic countries and use descriptive and legal method. Method. Comparative government is a traditional comparative government is a traditional and narrow study. And narrow study. Comparative government is a traditional comparative government is a traditional and a narrow study. And narrow narrow study narrow study. And narrow study. Narrow traditional and narrow study. Narrow study. Comparative is a traditional and a narrow study. We compare we mainly focus on mainly focus on formal we mainly focus on formal constitution, legislature, executive, constitution, formal institutions of government institution, executive, 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 and judiciary studies mostly democratic countries and use descriptive and legal method. Comparative government is the legal. Comparative government is the traditional and narrow study. Comparative government is traditional and narrow study. It's mainly focus on formal institutions. Comparative government is narrow. Comparative government is narrow, and comparative government is narrow. Comparative government is narrow. Comparative government is the traditional and narrow study. It's mainly focus on formal traditional institutions of the government such as legislature, executive, judiciary studies mostly democratic countries and use descriptive and legal method. Use descriptive and legal method. It's morally study. It's morally study. It morally it study more mainly study mainly study mainly study mostly democratic countries and use descriptive and legal method. ठीक है. Comparative government is mainly focus on mainly focus on government is the institution of the government study. Comparative government is the study of the comparative parties. Government is the traditional and narrow. The government study is the traditional and narrow. Comparative government is the traditional and narrow study. Comparative government is a traditional and narrow study. Is mainly focused on government. It mainly focuses on institution of government, institution of government. Comparative government comparative government such as traditional comparative government is a traditional and narrow study. Comparative government is traditional and narrow study. It mainly focus on formal institutions of the government such as constitution, legislature, executive, and judiciary. Judiciary focus on judiciary focus mainly focus on mainly focus on mainly focus mainly focus on 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 studies mostly democratic studies study more, mostly study more study mostly comparative mostly democratic countries and use descriptive and legal method. This distinguish between comparative politics and government. Comparative government and comparative politics are related but different concept, but different component. Comparative government is a traditional and narrow study. It's mainly focused on formal institutions of the government such as constitution, legislature, executive, and judiciary. Judiciary is study. It studies mostly democratic. Three countries use descriptive and legal method. Use descriptive and legal method. Comparative, broader and modern. It studies not only formal institution but also not only formal institution but also process formal processes process like political behavior, political culture, political parties, pressure group, process 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 groups and political development. It is includes both democratic and non-democratic countries. It includes both democratic and non-democratic countries and scientific uh, scientific, analytical, and empirical method. Use scientific. Comparative politics is a broader and modern. So, comparative politics is broader and modern. It study not only only is formal institution, but also formal structure, also informal process like process also informal political behavior, press- political behavior, political behavior, political culture, political parties, pressure groups, and political development. It is good. It is good both. It's include both the democratic and non-democratic countries. Countries used scientific and analytical method. Use scientific and analytical method. Whose comparative government is institutions centered, while comparative institutions while comparative political system centered and compare comprehensive comprehensive comprehensive. Distinguish between comparative between comparative distinguish between comparative politics and comparative government. comparative politics and comparative government are related are related but a different concept. Comparative government are traditional and narrow study. It's only for it's study only the studies only of studies mainly studies mainly formal institutions of the government such as constitution, legislature, executive, and judiciary. It study mainly study mainly 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 democratic countries, democratic countries, and used descriptive and legal method. Legal method comparative politics is broader and modern. It not only it's not only it studies not only formal institutions. He also he also he also they also also studies for informal formal institutions such as for political parties, political group, political parties, mm, but also institution, but also informal process, and also informal process like political behavior, political culture, political culture, political parties, pressure group, political parties, pressure group, and political parties, pressure group, political party pressure group, and political development, political parties and pressure group and political development, political parties, pressure group, and political development, political development. It includes both it includes both democratic and non-democratic countries and use scientific and analytical and empirical imperial method and imperial method scientific and imperial method use scientific and imperial both democratic and non-democratic institutions. Study it includes both democratic and non-democratic countries and use scientific, analytical, and empirical methods. They compare the comparative politics and institution centered and comparative government is system central and comprehensive comprehensive. Distinguish mostly mostly ठीक है distinguish between comparative politics and comparative government. Comparative politics and comparative government are related but different concept. Comparative government studies comparative government is traditional and narrow 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 study study only. He mainly focus on formal institutions of the government such as the constitution, legislatures, executive executive and judiciary. Is mostly mostly studies democratic countries used descriptive and legal method descriptive and legal method. उसके बाद comparative politics is modern and broader and modern. It, it not only formal institution but also informal process like political parties, political behavior, political culture, political political expert, pressure group, pressure group, use pressure group, use pressure group. He studying it studies studies democratic and it studies democratic and non-democratic countries. Also, we have non-democratic countries using it includes both political development and development. It includes both democratic. It includes both democratic and non-democratic countries and use scientific scientific and analytic scientific use scientific analytical imperial imperial method. Those those comparative government is institution centered while comparative government is institution centered while comparative politics is system centered and comprehensive systems and recent distinguish between comparative politics and comparative government. Comparative government and comparative government and comparative government and comparative politics are related but different concept. Comparative government studies mainly places group study, study mainly pressure study mainly formal constitution and formal constitution formal institutions of the government such as institution constitutional legislature executive and UCC is mostly studied democratic countries and use descriptive mechanical method. Comparative politics is broader and modern. Its study is study both it study both it study not only formal stuff formal institution but also informal process such as comparative politics comparative politics comparative politics such as comparative such as comparative such as comparative such as such as political behavior political culture political institution lesser group and political development. It includes both democratic and all non-democratic countries and use scientific and analytical method analytical method analytical method democratic politics is constitution center short note, write a short note on empirical method, analytical and empirical method. ठीक है, नंबर दो, क्वेश्चन नंबर दो, write a short note on constitutionalism. Write a short note on constitutionalism. Write a short note on write a short note on constitutionalism. Constitutional means constitutionalism means limited government. Limited government. It's the idea that government power must be restricted by constitutions and ex, ex, exercise or exercised according to law or exercised according to law का मतलब क्या होता है यार. Exercised 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 प्रयोग exercised according to law and exercised according to law. मेरी exercised मेरी 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 exercise of constitution not enough. Constitutionalism requires that rulers respect constitutional rules and practice and in practice rules in practice. That is what non-constitutionalism. Constitutional means limited government. Constitutional means limited government. It's the idea of that government must be restricted by the constitution. The idea the, it is the idea of is the idea is the idea of is the idea that government power must be restricted. It is the idea that it is the idea that government must be restricted by must be restricted by the constitution and exercise according to law and exercise according to law and exercise must be restricted by a constitution restricted by a constitution and exercised according to law 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 and exercised according to law. Write a short note on constitutionalism. 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 Write a short note on constitutionalism. Constitutions means constitutionalism means constitutionalism means limited government. It is the idea of restricted. It is the idea of the idea of the idea of it's the idea that it is the idea that power government power must be restricted by the constitution and exercised according to law. Exercised according to law. According to law. मेरी exercise मेरी 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 exercise मेर 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 exercise मेर exercise exists मेरी existence of a constitution constitution is not enough. Mary, Mary existing existence, Mary existence according to law, Mary existence according to law, Mary existence, existence according Mary existence of a constitution is not enough. Mary constitution, Mary ex constitution according to law is not. Mary constitutes constitution, Mary existence, Mary existence of a Mary existence of a constitution is not enough. Constitutionalism requires that expressed constitutional constitutionalism means limited government means limit. Constitutionalism means limited government. It studies it studies not it is the idea that government power are restricted by the constitutions and exercised according to law, or must be restricted by a constitution and exercised by the law, exercised according to law. Mere existence is not enough. Mere existence of a constitution is not enough. Not enough. Constitutionalism requires ruler to follow requires that ruler must follow the follow the follow must rulers respect constitutionalism rules rules and in practice constitutionalism. What is the sort mainly feature the main features of the constitutionalism is rule rule of law, separation of power, independence of judiciary, and protection of fundamental rights and protection of fundamental rights. It ensures that no authority is above the law, and that citizen rights are safeguarded against against arbitrary 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 state action arbitrary state action against arbitrary state.
Arbitrary, manmana, arbitrary,
Manmana.
manmana, arbitrary,
Arbitrary manmana. Yeah. Many fictions which involve and protection of fundamental. It ensures that no authority is above the law, and citizens' rights are safeguarded against arbitrary state action, and arbitrary state action. Constitutionalism promote constitutionalism promote con- constitutionalism promotes accountability, dem- transparency, and democratic governance in modern state. It is essential for maintaining liberty and prevent preventing preventing measures of power, preventing measures mis, measures preventing misuse of power, preventing misuse of power. In modern state, in modern states, it is essential for maintaining liberty and preventing misuse of power, preventing misuse of power, preventing misuse of power. ठीक है, write a short note on constitutionalism. Write a short note on constitutionalism. Constitutional means constitution means constitutionalism is constitutionalism means limited government. It is the idea. It is the idea that power, government 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 power, power are restricted by a constitution and exercised according to law. Exercised according to law. Mere existence is not mere existence is not enough. Mere existence is not enough. Mere existence, mere existence is not enough. 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 Not enough. Not enough. Not mere existence of a constitution. Mere existence of a constitution is not enough. No constitutionalism requires that rulers rulers must follow must rulers respect constitutionalism and constitutional rules and practice. In practice, the main features of constitutionalism main features of constitutionalism includes main features of constitutionalism includes rule of law, separation of powers, rule of law, separation of power, independence of judiciary, and protection of the fundamental rights and protection of the fundamental rights and protection of the fundamental rights. It ensures that no authority is above the law. It ensures it ensures that no authority is above the law and that citizen rights are safeguarded against arbitrary state action. It ensures that authority is not above. It ensures that authority is not above the law, and that and that and that citizens' rights are safeguarded, and that citizens' life and citizens and then that citizens and that citizens' rights are safeguarded, and that citizens and then citi- and then citizens' rights are safeguarded against state action, and then citizens and then citizens and then citizens are divided in state actions, divided in state actions, and that citizens' fundamentals are safeguarded against arbitrary and State action. Constitutionalism. Ah, constitutional constitutional promote accountability, transparency, and democratic governance. In modern state, it is essential for maintaining liberty and preventing misuse of power and preventing maintaining a liberty. It is essential for essential for it is essential for maintaining liberty and preventing misuse of power. Right assault on right assault not on constitutionalism. Constitutionalism is limited. Constitutionalism is limited and constitutionalism is limited. 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 Constitutionalism is main. Constitutionalism means government maintain muted right assault not on constitutionalism. Constitutionalism means constitutionalism means limited government is the idea of that is also on constitutionalism. Constitutionalism means limited government is that idea. It's idea that government powers are restricted by a restricted by a restricted by a restricted by a constitution and exercised according to law. Mere existence of mere existence of a constitution is not enough. No, for constitutional constitutionalism required rulers to constitutionalism. What is the what right is out on constitution? The government is the idea of the idea that government power must be treated by a constitution and exercised according to law. Mere the constitutionalism mainly focused constitutional constitutions means government enough because constitution requires that rulers respect constitutional rules in practice. It is the main features of the constitutionalism includes the main feature of constitutional includes the separation the state the rule of law rule of law rule of law rule of law separation of power rule of law separation of power independence independence in judiciary and protection of fundamental rights protection of fundamental rights protection of fundamental rights. It ensures that no authority is above the law. Not it ensure that no authority is above the law and citizens' rights are safeguarded against arbitrary also state action. Main features of the government, the main of features of constitution, main features of the constitution, the main features of the constitution. The main features of constitutionalism includes rule of law, separation of power, separation of power, separation of power, independence of judiciary, uh, fundamental rights, safeguard of the fundamental rights, protection of fundamental rights. It ensures that ensure that no authority is above. It ensures that no authority is above the law and the citizens and the and that and that citizens and that citizen and that citizens 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 rights are safeguarded against arbitrary state action and citizens arbitrary state actions. Constitutionalism promote accountability, transparency, and democratic governments. Promote transparency, accountability, transparency, and democratic accountability, transparency and democratic governance. Democratic governance in modern state, it is essential for it is essential for maintaining it is essential for maintaining it is essential for lib- maintaining liberty and preventing and preventing misuse of power, preventing misuse of power, preventing misuse of power. Mm. Main features of the power is mainly focused on it ensures that no authority is above the law and that citizens' rights are protected, are safeguarded arbitrary in state action. Most of them state action essential for maintaining ability. Modern states, it is essential for the 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 government. It is essential for maintaining liberty and preventing misuse of power, preventing misuse of power, misuse of power. Right assault not on constitutionalism. Constitutionalism means limited government. It is the idea that it is the idea that it is the idea that no one is above no one is above the law. No one is no idea that government power are that government power must be the government power must be restricted by the by a constitution and exercised according to law. Mere existence of the constitutionalism is not enough. Constitution is not enough. Mere constitution is not constitution requires a requires the rulers must follow rulers requires that constitution requires that rulers rulers requires the rulers respect constitutional rules in practice. The main features of the constitutionalism includes separation of power, separation of power, separation of power, safeguard of the protection of the rights, protection of the fundamental rights, protection of fundamental rights, protection of fundamental rights, independence of judiciary. It is essential for the it is essential for the it is clear that it is ensured that it is ensured that no one authority is above the law. Above the law. It is ensured that no one authority is above the law. No one authority is above the law and law that citizens' rights that citizens' rights are safeguarded against arbitrary state actions. Arbitrary state actions. Ooh, arbitrary state actions. Constitutional constitutionalisms constitutional constitutionalism promote 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 constitutional promote constitutionalism promote accountability transparency and democratic governance governance in in modern state it is essential for in modern state is essential for maintaining liberty and limiting misuse of power limiting misuse of power. Oh, yes, what right is sought not on constitutionalism. Constitutional means idea. Constitutional means constitutional limited government. It is the idea that government power are the idea that government power are include government power are limited. Government power are limited. Government power are limited. Government power are government power government is power is restricted by the constitution restricted by the institution restricted by a constitution and and exercised according to law exercise according to law exercise according to law exercise according to law exercise according to law mere existence of the constitution is not mere constitution mere existence of a constitution is not enough. Constitutionalism requires rulers respect constitutional 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 rules in practice. The main features of the constitution, the main features of the constitution, the main features of the constitution, the main features of the constitutionalism includes rule of law, separation of power, separation of power, independence of judiciary, separation of power, independence of judiciary, and protection of the rights, protection of 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 rights, and protection of rights, protection of rights, and protection of rights. It ensures that nobody it ensures that nobody is above the law. No, it ensures that nobody above the law. Nobody above the law. Nobody above the law. And that citizens rights are safeguarded against arbitrary state actions. Constitutionalism promotes accountability, transparency, and transparency and democratic governance, democratic governance, democratic governance, and democratic governance, खाना मेरा खाना है खाना है सानो है सानो है सानो खाना खाना खाऊंगा जाके खाना भी पढ़ दिया बहुत दोस्तों आगे हम पढ़ने वापस 10 मिनट बाद अभी और 1 घंटा का वीडियो बनेगा तो मैं चलता हूँ अभी कितना 54 मिनट हो गया 45 मिनट 55 मिनट हो चुका है चलते हैं पढ़ाई करने अभी ये briefly explain the David Eastern feedback model of political system. David Eastern explained political thought is political thought the system approach according to him the political system according to political system works through inputs conversation conversation outputs and feedback. Inputs includes demands input includes demands and support coming from society such as public needs and loyalty to the system. These inputs these inputs enters the political system and are and processed through these decision making institutions called the institution called the conversation process. The decisions decision take by the decision take by authority decision take by authority result in the decision take by authority result in outputs such as law policies and administrative action. Feedback feedback refers to the feedback refers to the feedback refers to the feedback refers to the reaction of society to to these outputs. Feedback helps the system and adjust and modify the policies through feedback. The political system mainly 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 ability of survival ability of survival. The feedbacks ठीक है what is the concept of political development according to Lucien Pai? What is the concept of political development according to Lucien Pai? Lucien Pai explained political development such as multidimensional process related to the growth and modernization of political system. According to him, political development means the capacity of a political system to response to the social demands and manage change efficiency by identify political development with equality participate part, capacity 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 and differential equality means equal participation and of citizens in politics. Comparative refers to the comparative refers to the comparative refers to the ability of political constitutional to perform functions effectively. Dimensions means socialization of political laws and legal culture. He also emphasized political culture, modernization, and political separation of the legislative as an important element of political development. For the Russian, political development is not only institutional growth but also change in values, attitude, and behavior. State the main ideas of Samuel the the main ideas of Samuel Huntington on political decay. Samuel Huntington explained that political concept of political decay is not a political order in changing society. According to him, political decay requires when political institutions fail to adapt or to repair a social and economic change. Huntington argued that the rapid modernization without strong political institutions lead instability, a corruption, violence, and breakdown of order. Political participation may increase faster than a development of political institutions, creating chaos. He emphasized that political order depends on institutionalism, institutionalism, and not mainly the modernization, not mainly on modernization or modernization or democracy, strong, stable, and well organized institutions are necessary to prevent political decay. Those political decay, these political decay result from the gap between social modernization, and institutional capacity. Institutional capacity. ठंडा चलो बाय बाय गाइस बाय बाय